So I want to talk about this film Irumudi. The film suffers with a lack of ideas. That's the number one thing. When you want to make a thriller film and you have whatever constraints are there, that doesn't matter. You're making a mainstream film, you're talking about a sensitive subject, like I say, which is sexual abuse, and you're taking it one step further and talking about child sexual abuse, which is a very sensitive topic. I think you, as a writer and director, should have to maintain some set of standards, and I think this film was very insensitive about the subject matter and the kind of solution it offers to this massive problem. See, it's easy, it's very easy to just take any kind of a social issue, something that everyone would easily view as a bad thing. It's a low hanging fruit to talk about these things in your mainstream big budget Telugu film and make it the villain. But what's difficult is giving it nuance, actually looking at the core problem and what causes this to happen. That is much more difficult. So till now I've been very vague about it. Till now I've been just hinting at things, but I really want to get into the spoilers. For those who haven't watched the movie, I wouldn't recommend you to go watch it, because I, as a film viewer, I was heavily disturbed, desensitized. It's not even disturbed like in, I saw something graphic. It just felt like a cheap trick played. They just want me to feel emotional, which was not sincere in any way. Yeah, somehow it worked for most people. They felt emotional. Anyone who knows what is writing, who understands how are scenes constructed, what is setup, what is payoff, even if you have a inkling of knowledge about these things, I think you will see through the gimmick here. There's nothing overly intelligent about this film. It's just a simple film. We're basically dealing with pedophilia here. I'm getting into spoilers now. Basically the villain of this film is this MLA rich character who obviously has access to wealth and resources, which the poor people doesn't have, and he portrays this role of a good Samaritan, and while in reality he's actually a wolf who enjoys pedophilia, and he indulges in this. So right then it's easy to portray your villain as this rich affluent guy who has these fantasies. But again, it's easy because A, he's rich, which also makes him evil. B, he has this nature of showing that he's doing good things while he's actually hiding his real motives. So it's very easy to paint him as a villain and then kill him off in the end, right? And that too, a male savior in the form of our protagonist comes and does the killing. It's very convenient that your villain is this guy. Imagine, like, if the villain was someone even more unconventional. What if it was a poor person who could be one amongst the Ayyappa Mala, right? Of course it can't be one of them, right? Of course, like, they are totally god loving people, god fearing people who would never get into these activities. But it's the guy who stays away from all of this, who is rich, and he hides behind political influence, of course, because then he'd be easier to frame as the villain and kill off. From a writer's perspective, I'm talking. Obviously, the writer had a choice, like who could be the villain, and this was the easy way out, and that didn't sit well with me. And the fact that, of course, it's the guy who figures it out in the end, and he just kills him and gets away with nothing. There's no consequence of killing a political leader. He just moves on with his life as it always is, and he even does his daughter's whole ceremony thing in the end. That much of freedom he has, and he has no consequences at all because he's the hero. And that's what we're telling in the film. The message that we're telling in the film is that, yeah, if you're a man, you can actually kill these rich evil people and get away with it. But if you're a woman, sadly, and if you're a weak girl who has more knowledge than this guy in the end, sadly you have to die. because A, we have to make our audience emotional. Until now, they have no strong emotion to hook behind to really bawl their eyes out. So we have to kill an innocent little girl, and that's how we want to do the proceedings of the film. Like, it's so lazy, man. It's so lazy. It's so low hanging fruit that you have to kill a small little girl to forward the plot and bring some tears to the audience eyes. Like, seriously, there's so many films you can just make the audience cry by doing anything, just even like a small heartful scene is enough to be emotional. You don't necessarily have to kill off children, kill off old people, kill off the mother. These are the laziest things as a writer that you can do to fool the audience into thinking that your writing is very profound. That's something that doesn't sit well at all with me. Why would you just kill a little girl off and just make it that this rich affluent guy does it, and he has no empathy or anything towards this girl, and yeah, he's just a cartoonish villain who just enjoys killing, pedophilia, this, that. Like, how? Like, okay, one guy, you can make him cartoonishly evil, and you can just kill off your movie, end your movie with that. But the question you're asking here is a large question, right? It's about pedophilia, child sexual abuse, and your solution to that is that if he's a rich guy, just kill him off, just behead him and be done with it. Yeah, all the girls can unite and raise their voice against this powerful MLA guy, and someone like Ravi Teja will come and kill him off, and everything is scot free. That's the message we're going for in the end. Such a laughable reduction of the larger problem at hand, because this happens, like, if you're not aware, sexual abuse, it happens in the most inconvenient places. It happens at your own home, it happens at a relative's home, it happens at a school, with your friends, with your seniors. It can happen with anyone, and the person you least expect it is usually the perpetrator of the crime. What about that? What if a little child has to confront the fact that someone from their own family, someone who they have to spend the rest of their life meeting at functions, at gatherings, these people, what if they are doing this thing? Your solution is kill them off, behead them. That's it, right? Someone like Ravi Teja will come, you just have to speak up. Someone like Ravi Teja will come and chop their head off, and that's all there is to it. Be done. Exactly. Like, it doesn't work that like that. Such a simple solution being thrown, slapped onto a much larger problem. It's just very out of taste and very amateurish to even deal with this subject matter. The only reason the director chose this is because it's an easy thing to choose. Don't pretend like, oh, I want to shed light on this issue. Most people need to know about. Good, that is true, but to do that, you need to be a great writer, and you need to tackle much more bigger problems than the ones you've tackled here. You just chose this as the low hanging fruit that everyone would hate universally, but you didn't have any solution at hand. You're not that big of a thinker that you didn't have any idea on how to resolve it. You didn't even come up with a pretentious solution to made an evil rich MLA guy the villain, and made your hero get a mass scene by chopping his head off. This is just a reduction of a massive problem into something you can conveniently make a commercial film out of. There's nothing more than that. And watching this film just felt like a big exercise, a huge test of my patience, because it has no ideas. It's just these lazy adopted ideas being preached as something profound, something greater than it actually is. So that's it, guys. That was my small kind of a rant. Yeah, it's just a boring, predictable film. Yeah, I didn't like it, and I just wanted to talk about it. That's it from my end. If you like this video, make sure to share this with a couple of people and share your thoughts in the comments.